Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy D Wayne bringing you yet another YouTube video at this time. So we're going to be talking icejades in this video today. So they got some new support coming out of the Battle of Chaos deck set. So they got 5 new support cards. So it goes along with the four support cards in their initial introduction in the Burst of Destiny set. So that brings a total up to 9 cards in total. So alright, so let's go ahead and get straight into it. Alright, so the first card is Cosmocroix, the Icejade Imperatrix. It is a level 10 Water Aqua effect monster with 1500 attack, 3000 defense. First effect is a hard once per turn. So first effect, if there's a face-up card in your field zone, you can special summon this card from your hand. Second effect reads, monster your opponent controls cannot activate their effects on the field while Xenian Cradle of the Icejade Depths, which is the field spell for them, is on the field. Except the turn they were summoned, so it's like a soft lock on monster effects. So they will be able to activate when they're summoned, but any continuous effects that happen afterwards will not be able to activate while this card is on the field. Alright, last effect reads, if your Icejade monster battles an opponent's monster, your monster loses 1000 attack during the damage calculation only. So, these cards have a very weak attack, so, I guess it would only make sense to bring down the opponent's monster attack so that they can beat over the monsters. Alright, so next card is Agile of the Icejade. It's also a level 3 Water Aqua monster, 1000 attack, 2000 defense. You can only first, second effects are hard once per turns. If this card is normal or special summon, you can add one Icejade spell or trap from your deck to your hand. So the Icejade has, Icejade has more options to search now. We have 2 other spell and traps that we're going to be talking about, in addition to the spell that was initially introduced in the Burst of Destiny set. So we have 3 total targets for this card to search out. Alright, so second effect reads, when an opponent activates a card or effect that targets this card, or when your opponent monster declares an attack on this card, quick effect, you can special summon 1 water monster from your hand or graveyard, except another copy of itself, but return it to the hand during the end phase. Also, if the next target card will be destroyed by battle or card effect this turn, it is not destroyed. So when this card is targeted by an effect, you can use that effect to special summon the big Icejade from your hand or graveyard. Has 3000 defense, and also this card would be protected from that initial battle when the opponent targeted this monster for an attack. So it would save itself and then add another monster to the field via its effect. So this archetype is looking pretty battle focused, so it's going to be interesting to see how this archetype shapes out to be. Alright, so next card, which is Kingfisher the Icejade ship. Level 9 Water Aqua effect monster with 2500 attack and defense. You can use the third effect of this card's name once per turn, so the third effect is hard once per turn. You can target one monster you control, equip this card from your hand or field to the target. If an Icejade monster equipped with this card, can attack while in face-up defense position. If it does, apply its defense to damage calculation. So this can essentially equip to the 3000 defense monster, allowing it to be able to attack while in defense. So, and in Super Hairy Samurai fashion, you would apply its defense to the damage calculation, which, has 3 stacks, so it's attacking with 3000. Alright, and the last effect reads, if you can target one face-up monster your opponent controls with an attack equal or less than the equipped monster's defense, special summon this card, and if you do, return that target to the hand. So, of course, if you have this effect equipped to the 3000 defender, you can, bounce a monster back that has 3000 or less attack, and then special summon this card to the field. So, and itself also is a 2500 attack both directions. So you get pretty decent beater on the field from the equip straight to the field via its effect, which is pretty interesting to say the least. Alright, so the first spell, which is the field spell for them, Xenian, the Citadel Zenian Citadel, Cradle of Icejade Depths. It's a field spell that I mentioned in the earlier cards. When this card resolves, you can add one of your Icejade monsters that is banished or in your graveyard to your hand, which is really good. Once per turn, if a monster is normal or special summon, you can target one water monster you control. That target, water monster you control, that target, and all face-up monsters your opponent. Hold on. Alright, so let me read this again. Once per turn, if a monster is normal or special summon, you can target one water monster you control, that target, and all face-up monsters your opponent currently controls attack equal to that target's original attack until the end of this turn. So I guess once again this is going along with the battle focus aesthetic, as you know, one of the effects brings the opponent, drops the opponent's attack by 1,000 with it attacks. So this further drops their opponent's attack so they can beat over the monsters, of course. And the first effect, being able to add one of your Icejade monsters that is banished or in your graveyard to your hand. Pretty good on activation, as you know, you will fill up your grave a lot with water monsters, as the initial support actually discards water monsters to draw, and some of them, this one also discards itself to switch some of the water monster from your hand. So you will have plenty of opportunities to get your resources back with the field spells effect. Alright, so that's that. So now we have the last card, which is a trap. So you can only use the first and second effects once per turn. Both effects are once per turn. You can target one face-up card your opponent controls. Destroy one Icejade monster you control. If you do, negate the target's effects until the end of the turn. Second effect, if a face-up water monster you control leaves the field by your opponent, except by being destroyed, you can take one Icejade monster from your deck and either add it to your hand or special summon. So this one is meh, because one, it relies on your opponent to do stuff, and it, in second effect only will resolve if your opponent tries to bounce something or banish it. But the normal standard means of getting rid of your monsters is by destroying them. So this takes away that option of triggering effects except by being destroyed, which is not very good. So but you don't really need this as far as the second effect is concerned, because the Icejade spell, the Searcher, pretty much can be activated from hand. Doesn't matter. Add from your deck to your hand Icejade monster from a different name from the cards you control in your graveyard, and this is not once per turn. So you would rather use this to search out instead of the trap cards. The trap card to search out your Icejade monsters. So overall, if you want to run it, I would say run one copy, but otherwise it's honestly not really necessary. The banish, sorry about that, the banish, the destroy to target to negate is okay, but there are better cards that negate effects. You don't necessarily need, even though it's searchable, but there are still better ways of negating effects aside from destroying your Icejade monsters in order to negate the target's effects for the turn. Alright, so it's pretty interesting stuff. You can start to see how the strategy is starting to shape out. It will mainly revolve around getting your high level, your level 9 and your level 10 to the field, so that you can start doing your shenanigans with dropping attack and stuff like that, being able to bounce your opponent's monsters back with this effect, and everything else is merely support just to get these two onto the field and revolve your strategy about that. So with that said, I don't know, it's not enough, to be honest. I believe they need more, because it still feels like it hasn't been fully fleshed out yet, but you can start to see what they're trying to do. Alright, so those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, and of course I'll be getting back to you guys on it. So I'll leave that at that. So I'll be bringing you guys more videos in the meantime. But until then, pieces, YouTube.